Hey guys, welcome back to a quick update. Um, I finally got this RC51 2000 model SP1 completely done and restored. I may seem a little bit exhausted right now. It's not because I just finished restoring it. I just finished riding it for about 3 hours. And what's significant about that is that there have been so many times that I thought I've had this bike sorted out, and I'll get on it, go for a ride, only to find that after about 45 minutes, an hour out, that the bike has got some issue and it'll cut off on me. Left me stranded maybe once or twice for different reasons. And then over the years that I've owned it, I've had this thing for probably, I can't pinpoint off the top of my head, I want to say over 5 years. And over the years of trying to figure out what issues had started to happen with it, it's just been tracking down one thing after another. First thing, as soon as I got it, the FPR, fuel pressure regulator, was bad. The bike would cut off after I'd been riding for a few minutes and it warmed up, and I'd come to a stop, it would just stall. But it would fire back up. And as long as I was giving it throttle, then it would run. So I had to master keeping the throttle slightly open at stop lights and whatnot for a while till I figured out that was the issue and replaced that. And over the years after that, it's just been another thing after another. At one point, the power commander that was on it started to kind of fail, or at least I thought that's what was failing. Troubleshot that, replaced it, only to find that the issue that was happening was still happening. Then I realized I was having a charge issue. Thought it was just a rectifier. Changed the rectifier. Rectifier went bad. Had to change the stator. Change the stator. Put a new rectifier. Rectifier went bad. Not because the stator was bad, just you don't get the right one and you'll have to do the job over. So one of the biggest problems, and the problem that really was a catalyst for probably every other thing that was going on with this bike, was that my ECU was faulty. All those things that I was trying to figure out over the years finally came down to me pinpointing one thing that was common across all the changes and all the remedies that I tried to apply to this bike. The one thing that I had not done differently was test the ECU. And I decided to just buy one used off of eBay. I found the cheapest one I could find, because they don't typically go bad. Unless you've been mucking around with it and doing things to it you shouldn't, they shouldn't be bad. So I bought one, I got it, I plugged it in, and immediately I took it out for a ride, and it felt better. But then the rectifier that I put on, that I just mentioned, I replaced, went bad. So I thought maybe it was the same problem. Maybe the ECU wasn't fixed. It was like back and forth with the ECUs, and then once the rectifier was in, trying to replicate it, and so on and so on. So for any of you who have an RC51, and I found all sorts of blogs and forums out there that will help you figure out where to start. And that's how I kind of got most of my issues sorted out. None of them talked about the ECU being faulty. So if you've got this bike and you're experiencing things like the bike will go into limp mode, the bike will just stop on you, after you ride it for a while, it just starts cutting out, like all these sort of inconsistencies that are not synonymous with Honda whatsoever, chances are your ECU might be fried. I'm not saying that's what it always is, but I'm telling you, I replaced damn near everything electrical in this thing that I could possibly think of, and it would just keep happening until I put another ECU in there. And ever since I've done that, I've not had any problems. The satisfaction of knowing that you did something, you did it right, and you've got it sorted out, there is no substitute for that. And the way that this thing just, the sound, the acceleration, the way that it does everything, it's such a fantastic experience. And the looks I get everywhere I go with this bike, they don't see them very often. See them running, most of them do run, but you just don't see a ton of them. They're all hidden somewhere. And to have one, it's quite an honorable thing for me, because I've been a huge fan of this bike for so many years. Nicky Hayden fan through and through. I remember when, that was my helmet, just fell off the, whatever. I remember when Nicky Hayden started racing, and I remember watching him evolve into the racer he was, and he rode this bike. and Colin Edwards rode it to victory in World Superbike. So it's got a lot of heritage, and it's just, you know, just a fantastic bike. Good investment. It's been a long road, but it's finally done. It's finally done. It's running the way it's supposed to, and I'm completely over the moon. That's my update. All-wheel drive. Peace out.